Good afternoon, everybody. This is Dee Reinhardt with Illinois WorkNet, and today I have a special surprise for you. I'm going to do a demonstration of the PPR as it sits right now. We still have to hook up a few things, but it's coming along. It's making great progress now that Avi's back and has been working on it quite a bit. I've got 31 people of 50 that have checked in on the poll, so 32 now. I will let you know that there is a meeting on Thursday that ICOI is sponsoring, but I will not be on it. So if you have any questions today, you do need to ask them because I won't be there on Thursday. I have a conflict with another meeting. So today we're going to talk about our new PPR report, and I'm going to go show you where it's going to be. It's going to be in the reports, and I am logged in as my same level, so super admin, so I get to see everything. When we look at it in the system, if you had access to or had a program in CYEP, that CYEP performance will still be there. If you did not, I'm not sure if that tab will even show for you, but you will want to select IYIP performance. Now, one of the things that we have available is the program year and the quarter, because I know that a lot of you have summer youth programs, and those quarters are a little bit different because they overlap from one program year to another. So if you want to pick program year and then the Q4, where includes May, then you can do that. And then what will happen is we'll have rolling quarters on the report. So I'm going to pick Austin People's Action Center, and I'm going to pick category 1, and then I'm going to just pick, I'm going to discard that one, and I'm going to pick number of registered youth just to show you one performance piece. Number of registered youth determined eligible for the program, and I'm going to filter. So as you can see here, we've got PY 21 quarter 4, and then it goes PY 22 Q1. So you can combine those two numbers. And if you look at this, then that will tell you how many people you have. So I probably didn't enroll anybody for this particular period in test data. So if I go back and I look at PY 2021 Q4 and then filter again, I see that I did register one person. So you can see how the quarters change. And that's just with one measure. And then these numbers down here will be clickable so that you will be able to see a list of the people that are in that list. And then, so now that's for measurements. And if you want to click all measures, so like everything, then you can click that. It will give you every single measure. It will show you based on the numbers that I picked. You can also add additional categories. So if you had category 1 and category 2, it will combine the people for you. Or you can do it by category. You can filter specifically by category, and then it will show up. We have all of the criteria, the criteria for eligibility. It's all listed here. And one thing, Brandon, do you want to talk to them about the eligibility criteria right now while I'm right here?
Sure, yes. So I know we have a few new people, new staff members, and just to remind as people before category 1 summer and you're enrolling new youth, we really need to capture all of these situations that apply to the youth. So it only takes one situation or risk factor to deem the youth eligible for IYP, but we want to, basically, the more of these that we can report in our data, the better, as far as for funding and to validate the program. So if like 7 of these situations apply to a youth, please make sure that they're answering all 7 of them. And a couple of questions that have come up. One has been, well, the youth don't feel comfortable, or confidentiality, something like that. No one is going to know, besides the case manager and the youth, what they answer. I mean, we're not going to go through and audit this or anything. And then number 2 kind of goes hand in hand, is how do we document or prove that this situation applies to the youth? And a self-attestation form can be used. You can just have them sign something that they are agreeing to, that they are, like, say, eligible for free and introduced lunch, or they live in a single parent household, or whatever situation it might be. And you can just have one form that's all encompassing, that refers to all of these risk factors, just basically saying that they're telling the truth, basically. Does that make sense?
Does to me. All right. Okay, so now the next piece that we have, and just to let you know, these numbers may not add up, because somebody might have all of the criteria. So we don't have a number at the bottom that says this many people, because if one youth has 3 criteria and another youth has 23 criteria, those numbers will not add up, but they should add up across this way. These are supposed to be single unit per line item on the PPR, if that makes sense to everybody. So the one criteria where you can tell how many youth that you have is the number of eligible youth accepted and enrolled into the program. And we're going to put a little asterisk on this one, just so that if I'm looking, or if Brandon's looking, or if Nicole is looking, or if you want to see, do I have everybody entered into the system, then you would check here to make sure that they're enrolled and accepted. So that's the piece that we're all going to use as our criteria to see if we've got everybody else in there. We did have a question about exporting this into Excel. I don't know if we're going to actually do that. I know that would make your life reporting very easy, but we've done the hard lift for you here. You might be able to just transfer data from one column to another, and from here to an Excel spreadsheet if we don't get that piece done right away. We'll work on trying to get that done, but we want to get the PPR completely done first. So the next piece that we can look at, and these 2 do not match at all number wise, and you cannot compare them, but we do have a section here where we can check enrolled or discharged demographics. And I'm going to take this off and just put this one measure, and I'm going to select enrolled. And then we have all of these additional filters that pop up. So if you want to find out age, you can add more than one age. So if you're doing 16 and 17-year-olds, and then you want to find out of the races, all of them, or how many are in which race category that they answered on the application, you can pick them. I'm going to pick the primary ones here. We also have multi-race, so if they answered more than one race at a time. And then ethnicity, we have Hispanic or non-Hispanic. I'm going to just pick Hispanic. Gender, we have male, female, or non-binary, or you can pick all. And then we have service area. So this is where it comes into play on the application, where they pick which county, Cook or Cook City will have. If you pick Cook, it will ask you, and then where's my other Cook one? There's, I'm supposed to be able to get the Cook's, Chicago's proper, where it has the different communities, but I'm not seeing my, I'm not seeing my numbers here. But if I pick Cook, it's supposed to give me a township. So I'm going to pick Cicero Township. And then if I filter, it's going to take it a minute because it's going through all of the data. So I don't know why my Cook City didn't show up. Let me find out about that. And this is test, so there might not be any data in here for these numbers. Let me take the service area out and see if we get that to filter better. There we go. I think it might be tied up because of the lack of people in there. But so now what this will do is it will tell you how many 16 or 17-year-olds you had. If your program is geared all towards 16 and 17-year-olds, you'll have numbers in here. But my data may not have included, that I input, may not have included 16 and 17-year-olds. And then it will tell you I had one white person in Q2 of PY21. I had one female. If I click on those names, it should show me that it's the same person, maybe. So this data may not match at all, but it will give you some numbers that will show up. And then if you only have one or two numbers down here, we're still trying to get this all to work together. So the numbers between the demographics and the performance may not match exactly, because you may not have had a 16-year-old that was a white male in your performance of eligibility. All right, so what kind of questions can I answer for you about this? And we've had 63 people of 75 check in on the attendance poll. Please make sure that you check in on the attendance. All right, so what do y'all like this so far? I'm not sure if this is going to help you guys. I think it will. I think it will help you a lot for getting those numbers for your attendance. Toby likes it. She gave me a thumbs up. Nancy likes it. She gave me a thumbs up. All right. Love it. Dominic, thank you. Crystal likes it. All right, I'm going to filter back again and see if we get, I didn't have any people in there. Let's try Q2. Again, this all depends on my test data. What did I put in there? So I'm hoping that this will work really good for you and your numbers. We'll have to release it and then have a couple of people that have kept really good paper records check it against what's going on in the paper. All right, yeah, you can. I'll tell you, I did do some work with this, but Avi, our programmer, has done a yeoman's job with this, and he doesn't understand the program, he just understands the coding, and he's trying to make things work the way I tell him it needs to. So he's been doing the heavy lift on this one.
So Dee,
Yes, ma'am.
would it tell like how many Black kids are non-Hispanic? Does it go two things at the same time or just one at a time?
So what it will do is if you pick enrolled, and if you say, let's try 18-year-olds, or you can do all ages. Let's try all ages. And if we want Black and we can do on the Hispanic, we can do both. And then do you want to pick a gender or not?
No gender. Let's just say Hispanic on the one. I just want to see Black Hispanic because that's what they ask for on the PPR.
Okay, so one of the things that you guys may have to do, oh, my Hispanic filter isn't showing the words. What you'll have to do is compare some names on occasion.
Okay.
This will give you the base, and then it may take a little bit of comparison, but it's better than hand ticking everything across the way. And these, I think I removed, oh, Jamie says, I think I removed, oh, I did. Okay. So we want Black and Hispanic. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay. So let's filter this again. Okay. So I have one Hispanic in Q3, one Hispanic in Q4, and one Black in Q2. So that means that I don't have any that are both.
Okay.
But if you're unsure that that information is, or if you're positive that that information is incorrect, then during this first phase while we get set up, we'll have to make sure that, you know, you're getting the data that you know you have.
Mhm.
And it could be what the person put on their application as well. So
Yeah.
thanks for pointing that out, Jamie. I couldn't figure out why that was empty there. And so right here, I think my enrollments are off. So I've got somebody from Q3 and I've got somebody from Q4, but I don't have anybody in Q4 down here. So we have to test this a little bit more to make sure that the numbers are coming through. So that's why we haven't released this yet. Plus we have a few more of the performance items to connect. But if we look at the filters on here, I'm going to take out this and I'm going to put in all measures and filter. So we've got a whole bunch of the filters already in here. We have to connect a few more. So I'm hoping that we have this for the end of March, definitely. I hope to have this by the end of March so that you guys can get the Q1 PPR, or well, wait, your Q3 PPR in by using this tool. All right, any other questions about the PPR sample here that I'm showing you? Okay, any other questions that I can actually record? And remember, I will not be on the call on Thursday morning. So if you've got questions about the system, we need to ask them today. Beth, is that a picture of all of those people standing behind you?
That's our center. Yep, those are our kids. And some
Yeah, but they're not
volunteers.
standing there watching this, are they?
No, it's a picture, a background picture thing on Zoom.
Okay. Okay.
No, they're all taking notes.
All right, iPhone, I don't know your name.
Is it me, D? It's me, Shauna Ramsey from Duquesne. And every time I get on here, I need to change mine. I'm sorry, D. That is me.
That's
I
okay.
do have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Why our youth are doing one-on-one, the one-on-one activities. Some of them get stuck on creating a career plan. Is it some way they could get through that part? Because once we get on that part, we at 38%, and we're stuck right there.
Okay, so one of the things that we have to be sure of is that the participant is enrolled in your program before they start on Employment 101, or else it will put them in the wrong career plan.
Okay, would that be, you mean verifying them in our program? Or so some of our steps be like having them to do the intake, then we have them to start on the application for Illinois WorkNet. Then we start on the pre assignment test. Then we go to one-on-one.
They have to be actually enrolled.
So and verify before we start.
Yes.
Okay.
Because
Okay,
if they aren't, then they're just doing their stuff in the regular Illinois WorkNet career plan.
Yeah, I noticed that. That you could put pick DHS, or and it's still going on the DHS, because on some of the one-on-one activity also bring up WIOA, and I know we're not WIOA, but I know WIOA do the same thing, but it bring up WIOA as one of the options.
Right.
Okay, thank you, Dee.
Sure. And then I do know there was a challenge with one of the in the financial section in the third module, there was a challenge with getting that to let them move forward. So I've got a programmer working on that.
Okay, thank you, Dee.
Sure. Electronic signature option added to the Illinois WorkNet application yet? No, that once we get the PPR done, then we're going to add, I want to show you real quickly what we're going to add. In another program, we have this tool where you can add a customer. And what this will do, and I'm just going to use somebody's name here. It's in the system. Uh-oh. And we can put in a date of birth. Email, and we're going to have a checkbox that says if they don't have an email, it will give them a fake one. So we're going to do Jared at and I'm going to do a oops. So what it will do is it will search for a customer. If they're already in the system, then it will tell you that they're already there. And if they're already enrolled, it will tell you that they're already enrolled. And it will send a message off, or at least you can then send me a message that says, hey, this person's already enrolled. Can you please check? You'll be able to tell your customer that they're already enrolled someplace else. And then I'll say, oh yeah, I've got that. All right, and then, so then from here, you'll be able to, if you've got somebody that seems like they're okay on the computer, you can send them a link to the application. If they're, so what this is doing is it's creating the account for the customer, and then you can send them a link for the actual youth application, or you'll be able to complete the initial application with the youth right then and there. So that this would open up the application, and you could do it over the phone with them so that you know that they're picking the right organization, that they're, you know, you don't have to worry about them picking the wrong place. And then you finish all those questions with them, you know that you're getting the right answers, and then you're golden. But the biggest piece will be the Illinois WorkNet account will already be created for them. You'll know whether or not they're already enrolled someplace else, and you'll get the application completed in the right form and fashion. And then you can do the eligibility right away. So I think this is going to be a huge help for you guys moving forward. And as soon as we get the PPR done, this is the next piece that we're going to work on for the IYIP program. It may not be done until the start for the next year, but this is our plan to get this done. And then what we would do for that, let's see, that would hopefully make this whole signature piece a non sequitur, that we wouldn't have to worry about getting signatures on everything. We still will need a career plan signature, but we can do some of that kind of stuff with Adobe, with PDF signatures and stuff. All right, that's our next plan step here. Does anybody else, I see Anthony has a question about a couple of specific clients. Any other questions about something that we can show you overall? Without,
D. George, can you just show where you got to that PPR on the from the dashboard or whatever?
well, it will be under the reports, but it is not out yet.
Oh, okay, it's not there yet. Okay.
Right. I just wanted to show you where we're going with it. And I'm hoping to have it done pretty quickly.
Okay, thank you.
The career plan and the application should have a signature on it, and you should have those uploaded, or at least in the paper file for your customers. Okay. Any other questions that I can answer for you before I stop recording and answer specific questions? I've got 68 of 76 people that have checked in on the poll. So you need to find the poll on your screen and check in.
D, it's Brandon. One other thing I thought of, and it's because a few questions have come up about this, about the counter for subsidized days or the training stipend. So say like you're a category 1 and the youth has 90 days of subsidized days. Several people have asked me about, well, can a youth, like say last year they were enrolled and they only used 20 subsidized days. Can they enroll again for like this summer for category 1? And maybe we even at some point we could do like a refresher or something in one of these TA sessions before May 1st, before
Sure.
the summer ramps up, because most providers are doing category 1, even if they're doing multiple categories. So a few people have asked me like how they do the counter, like to stop it or to start it again, because if there's a break in employment or something like that.
So you do need to end the job. So if I'm looking at a customer, and I ran into this situation today with a real customer that for one of the agencies, they left the other agency, and then the person was discharged from the program, but all of their steps weren't exited out. So if I'm looking at a person here, I'm hoping that this person has a step. You know what? I think I need to go to somebody different. Let's go to.
Oh, and D, while you're looking for this, I'll just go ahead and say, because this has come up on a few site visits too. Remember, if you have a youth that's used up a bunch of their subsidized days and, you know, they still want to come and enroll or something like that, you can always provide supportive services. So even though they might have used up all or some or most or all of their subsidized days, they can still get help with transportation. You know, they can still enroll and do a non-subsidized job, even if all their days are used up. But if they have some subsidized days remaining, you know, they can still get help out with like a bus pass or, you know, different supportive services and everything. Just because their subsidized days are all or close to being used up doesn't mean you have to turn them away.
Brandon, can I ask you a question, please? About
Sure.
that? So you did say before in the previous meeting, it's more so the days versus the hours, right? That they have to use?
Yes, we use days.
A question, the max amount of days is 240?
Well, it's different for each category.
Okay, so if it's so I have a client that was in category and now he rolled over to, well, not now, but he rolled over to category 2 and he did 180. We were counting them as hours. So he did 180. So would his max be 240 or what would his max be, you know, combined with category 1 and 2?
So it's the current category of enrollment. So if he's enrolled in category 2, then it goes by the maximum for category 2, which is 270 days.
Okay. Okay, so whatever category they roll over to, they go to that amount of max days. That's
correct. So
okay.
That's why, you know, you probably won't have a lot of youth going from like category 2, 3, or 4 down to category 1, because category 1 you only get 90.
Right. Okay. Thank you so much.
Oh, no problem.
All right, Test was giving me a headache, so I'm going to share my screen and go to production. And I will show you in production the way to close out the service, but I have to stop the recording. So thank you for watching, everybody. If you are having issues with closing people out and having subsidized days stop, you do need to go to their services and close their steps. All right, so thanks for watching. Oh.